Hi, so today I wanted to do a review of my newest pack, which is an Atelier Longue Distance ALD 20-liter hybrid fast pack made in France. So this is the hybrid 20 version of the ALD pack. I chose it in an xpac VX21. Main material for the main pack, marine blue and then black for the back. And then the stretch material for the back and for the bottom pocket is this dynema stretch, which is not as stretchy as perhaps other types of mesh, but it's much more durable. You have sort of a grid of ripstop in it made from dynema, which makes it very sort of scratch resistant and very durable. So if you use it a lot for scrambling and for bushwhacking and this type of stuff, I really recommend using something like this. It packs it a bit tighter, so it doesn't sort of bulge out as much as other types of mesh material. You can use it with either 1, 2 or 3 back pockets. One is just in the main, then you have 2 as I have here, and you can have 3 with 1 main big one and then 2 side pockets. If you choose 2, you also have this sort of middle daisy chain that you can put loops through, so you can have your for example, your pad here or something else that's light you can have on the back. You can also use it for loops for trekking poles or ice axe or something like this. Otherwise, I have chosen to have 2 elastic webbings down here. You can use for again for a pad or something similar, also for trekking poles, or if I wanted to store, I don't know, chips or something light here again. On the bottom, I have the bottom pockets, again in dynema stretch material, and then I have this elastic webbing that I mainly use for trekking poles. I really like this as a storage option down beneath because it's very easy to reach down and reach your trekking pole. And as normal, you have this small trash entrance here. Again, this is sort of a very typical type of cottage type backpack. You have 1 main compartment, have a roll top, 1 single button here in the middle. The xpac is the fabric in itself is waterproof, but you don't really seam seal it as you do sometimes with DCF, so the main pack is not waterproof as such. But I bought the DCF filler bag or for this specific pack, so I use that for clothing, for sleep gear and that kind of stuff. So that works quite well. But I had it out in like 2-3 hours of rain, and the sort of water ingression is very, very minimal. It's more like condensation. It doesn't really make things wet. So that's sort of the, well, I had chosen with the 2 side compression straps also. For me, that's mainly for drying clothes and that kind of stuff. I use the compression also sometimes when I don't really have a lot in it. Right now I have sort of base weight gear for fast packing and hiking for down to between 0 and -5 perhaps. And that takes up, it's non-compressed now, but that takes up a bit more than half the space in the backpack. So I still have space for at least 5 to 7 days of food, should that be necessary. Then I chose the V-strap, gives you a bit extra carriage option. Has a small handle here for carrying it. I kind of like that. Some cottage type bags doesn't have this, and then you use your shoulder straps. And then you have what makes it a hybrid fast pack. You have the carrying system here. The straps are not as normal straps. Normally you would have sort of it ending here, and then you would have a webbing or strap down here that you could adjust. But these running vest style packs, they only have this sort of vest thing. It's made from an open mesh, quite durable, quite rugged open mesh, but it still gives you a lot of ventilation that I like. And then you have 2 pockets on each side. You have a big pocket down here, opens with a button, that you can use for your cell phone, for all kinds of snacks and whatever you want to use it. Normally I use the bottom pocket for snacks and this type of things, but anything you want sort of accessible during the day very fast. Lipstick or sun balm or all this kind of stuff. I have my headlamp in here also, wallet, whatever you need. And then you have a pocket for your bottle. Again, stretch mesh pocket for your bottle. I use 600 milliliter Hyperpack bottles, which fits in perfectly. I really like having this front option for carrying water. It makes much more sense for me. It's much more accessible. You can see how much you have. You can easily fill it up fast. And then you have some weight distribution as well. So if you only have a base weight of 2.5, 3 kilos, and you have 1 liter in front, you have fairly big amount of weight distribution. Also adding, you have your smartphone and other stuff up here. So you have maybe 1/3 of your weight in front if you don't have food in it. And then also typical for these type of running vest style things is that you have 2 chest straps that you can better distribute, and you sort of cinch it down closer so it doesn't bounce it much. You have a sort of daisy chain here that you can move it up and down, which works quite well. I kind of prefer this to the sort of movable some ones because they tend to move on their own when you run with it. So I tend to like these fixed ones. They move a bit less, and also the cord is static. It's not dynamic, so it doesn't really move as much. But all in all, I had this out for a few overnighters fast packing, and I use it for some day training trips around 50 to 70 kilometers, sort of mixed running and hiking. For now, it really performed well. 2 things that I sort of will keep an eye on in the future is it tends to snag a bit here on the edge of the shoulder strap. You can see there's a bit of material in it from my shirt. So it tends to snag a bit here, but I think this is mainly just in the beginning. When it's been worn a bit, I think that will stop. But it hasn't been a big issue. And then, of course, you get a sweaty back when you don't have ventilation really on your back. So I'm considering you can use these straps also for just making an elastic strap here to have a sit pad, a ventilated sit pad on the back. So I'm considering doing that. But other than that, it really performs well. It has very little bounce compared to normal type of backpacks. It has great features, pockets, main compartment, back pockets and so on. Great material and great build quality. It's really high-end build quality. I've had quite a few frameless cottage type bags, and this is definitely some of the better craftsmanship I've seen. So for now, at least, my big recommendation if you're in the market for lightweight, durable, it's around 400 grams, this one, durable and well-fitting backpack for this type of long distance hiking or fast packing with fairly light base weight. I wouldn't use more than 3.5-4 kilos of base weight in this if you want room for some food. You can get it, this is the 20 liter, or you can get it in a 30 and 40 liter version that's a bit more, you can carry a bit more. With this, I wouldn't carry more than 7-8 kilos, perhaps. With the bigger 30 or 40 liter versions, 10 to 12 kilos, that tends to be the max for frameless backpacks. But definitely, if you're in the market for something that lets you move fast and with less effort and gives you the sort of storage capabilities that makes you sort of less annoyed with your pack because you don't have options of getting what you want, this is definitely a good pack to choose. It really sort of fills the spots for me for what a pack is supposed to do. It's supposed to ride well, it's supposed to give you the pockets that give you option for storing the stuff that you want, and it's supposed to be sort of as rugged and waterproof that lets you worry least about will it break, will it get wet inside, all this kind of stuff. So for that, it's definitely one of my favorite packs I've tried. I've tried quite a few, as I said. And if this is something for you, definitely check out the website. They do it in a bit of different materials and pocket configurations and so on. So big recommendation for now, at least, for this ALD pack.